Okay, first hour Algebra 2. Today we're just going to take a little bit of a step back and just kind of solidify some things with these geometric sequences and a couple things that can happen. Just from what I'm seeing from the questions, I think maybe we need a day of this. Okay, and I screwed up the posting somehow yesterday. It didn't show up till, thought I had it scheduled to go out at 8:30, but it didn't, and I didn't get it out till around noon. Sorry about that. And then I didn't have the homework set up to where you could copy your picture in there till later in the day also. So I had all kinds of mess ups there. But anyway, with that being said, I think tomorrow I'll give you a day, since I screwed up yesterday a little bit, I'll give you a day tomorrow just to get things caught up, and you won't have to do anything new tomorrow. So tomorrow will be kind of a work day. All right. So couple things I wanted to make sure and look at today with these geometric sequences is, first off, how do we figure out that number that we multiply by, that R value, because that's critical. And I just want to make sure you understand the safe way to do that is to pick any number in line and divide by the number in front of it. Okay, so we could do negative 14 divided by 7. We get an answer of negative 2. And it could have been any number. We could do 28 divided by negative 14. Or we could do negative 56 divided by 28. And notice how in each one of them, one of the numbers is positive and one of the numbers is negative. So in each one of them, we will get negative 2 for our R value. And then when we see that we have a positive number, then a negative number, then a positive number, then a negative number, that's kind of a pattern in itself. So that has to continue. So our first number we're going to find should be positive, the second one should be negative, and that last one should be positive. Well, why is this next number positive? Well, we're multiplying by negative 2. So we have negative 56 times negative 2, and negative times a negative gives us a positive 112. Then we go to the next one, we multiply by negative 2. Now we've got a positive 112 times a negative 2, and we get a negative 224. And now we have a negative 224 times another negative, and negative times a negative switches it back to positive 448. So whenever you see positive, negative, that's kind of a pattern in itself. That has to continue. And the reason that happens is because sometimes you're doing a negative number times a negative number, getting a positive answer. Sometimes you're doing a positive number times a negative number and getting a negative answer. Okay? So I just wanted to point that out whenever they alternate. Second thing, when we write the rule, remember your rule for your nth term is first number times R to the n minus 1. All we need to know is our first number in line and what our R value is. And our R value is always what we multiply by. And then we can write the rule. Just remember the safe way to find your R value. Take any number in line and divide it by the number in front. So you could do 200 over 800, or you could do 50 over 200. And if you simplify those, both of those will equal the same thing, 1/4. So that means we are multiplying by 1/4. Now that means the same thing as dividing by 4. Okay, but we can't use division. We have to use multiplication. So that's why we have to use the 1/4. All right, but that's our R value. Now, of course, a sub 1, it's sitting right there. So now that we know the R value, we can write our rule as 800 times 1/4 to the n minus 1. And when this is a fraction, definitely when it's a fraction, you need those parentheses around that. All right, if you don't, then the n minus 1 is only on the 1 on top, not on the 4 in the denominator. And that is your nth term rule. Now again, a little further explanation on why is this n minus 1. Well, it has to do with how many times you're going to multiply. So let me clear all this off. Remember that, or realize that. Let me do it this way. 800 is your first number, 200 is your second, and 50 is your third. Well, to get to the second number, how many times would you multiply by 1/4? You'd multiply 1 time, or 2 minus 1. How many times would you have to multiply to get to the 50? And when I say how many times you have to multiply, it's from the first number. You have to multiply twice, or 3 minus 1. So that go back over here. So this number, this exponent here on that 1/4 is always one less than whatever number you were going to. So if I would say, what's the 17th number in line? You should be able to at least set it up. You would say, well, start at 800 and then start multiplying by a fourth. Well, how many 1/4 are you going to multiply by? 17 minus 1, you'll multiply by 16 of them. That's the way that would work. Okay? You don't have to find the 17th number, but that's how you would set it up. Okay, so I hope this today that we kind of solidify ourselves here a little bit with this formula. So again, there are 2 problems for homework. Not going to crush you today with homework. Turn in your picture of it when you get it done. Tomorrow I will give you a day off, let you get caught up on this class or any other classes you have. Okay? So then you won't be hearing from me till next Monday. All right? So have a good weekend. Bye.